What's going on, everybody? Paul here, coming at you with a crypto coffee update along with a little bit of allergies. It's becoming fall time here in the northern hemisphere, so I'm a little bit scratchy, but I think we can power through just fine. After all, isn't it the beautiful cold weather that makes the coffee so delicious? So join me now for what we call the simultaneous sip, where we just take a sip of nice hot coffee, tea, or some cool water, whichever you prefer, to start the day off right together. So join me now. Full cup, nice and warm. Let's go ahead and roll into the first segment of the day, the news. Good news all around today. The Austrian government is going to be notarizing $1.3 billion of bonds using the Ethereum platform. So it's been said that these kind of things happen seemingly pretty slowly as developments and the infrastructure get set up, and then innovation comes erupting forth all at once. And perhaps that's what we're seeing now coming out of Central Europe. You can see here from the article, the Austrian government is using the Ethereum blockchain to auction government bonds worth about 1.15 billion euro or $1.3 billion. The federal government agency, OEBFA, has assigned the banking giant OEKB, yeah, you thought I was going to try and read that, didn't you? They're going to carry out the auction coming on October 2nd, which is exciting for everybody who's a fan of not only central banking technology and innovation, but digital ledger technology as well. The Austrian government has claimed that emerging technology is an economic policy focus and that the added security contributes a high level of confidence to the auction process, not to mention indirectly contributing to favorable financing costs. While favorable financing costs are indeed excellent for developed nations, how about these less developed nations? After all, those are the economies that are going to receive the most impact from applied digital ledger technology. And that's exactly what we're seeing here in Kenya, as an official calls for the tokenization of the country's entire economy. This individual, Bitange Ndemo, hopefully I pronounced his name all right, chairman of Kenya's Task Force on Distributed Ledgers and Artificial Intelligence, has said that tokenizing the country's economy would be a fantastic boon all around. During the meeting, he insinuated that not only would digital ledger technology help to fight corruption, but also reduce unemployment levels, as he was quoted saying, quote, "We must begin to tokenize the economy by giving incentives to young people to do things which they are paid through tokens that can be converted to fiat currency," end quote. With this in mind, the task force has already proposed in July the creation of a central bank digital currency. And while you can see here, the CBDC, or the central bank digital currency, doesn't really have a lot of support at the moment, there is a shift towards teaching the country's citizen how to use these new digital ledger tokens. Another individual, head of the ICT, revealed that the government will facilitate relevant policies to help regulate recommendations from the task force. It's worth noting that Kenya has perhaps the highest proliferation of individuals who use their mobile phone as their primary means of banking. Not only does geography and economy have some preventative measures in terms of return on investment when installing these brick-and-mortar institutions, but the comparative return on investment for simply creating a mobile app or allowing individuals to use their cell phone is leagues higher. It'll be interesting to see how blockchain and digital ledger technology fits into the financial reality of an already very mobile culture. Switching gears, headed back stateside, a US judge has sided with the CFTC in a fraud case, saying that certain cryptos are indeed commodities. This concerns a token known as MyBigCoinPay, and really guys, MyBigCoinPay, sometimes the writing's on the wall, but that's neither here nor there. Point of the matter being, a Las Vegas business and two individuals were hauled into court at the behest of the CFTC to find out exactly whether or not these activities were fraudulent crypto investment schemes. The defendants attempted to defend themselves by saying that due to the fact that MyBigCoin did not have any future delivery potential and were simply a mineable and traded currency, that they were not commodities. However, the CFTC refuted this, saying that, quote, "A commodity for purposes of the CEA definition is broader than any particular type or brand of that commodity." Pointing to the existence of Bitcoin futures contracts, the CFTC argues that contracts for future delivery of virtual currencies are, quote, "dealt in," and that MyBigCoin, as a virtual currency, is therefore a commodity. In my opinion, this ruling could potentially be dubious. Just because one crypto has futures that are dealt in doesn't necessarily insinuate that other cryptos, or even tokens for that matter, have a futures contract. With that said, legal precedent is a wicked web to try and unweave, so with that said, we'll take it at face value and we'll keep an eye on things going forward. Point of the matter being, always do your own research, and if you're going to get involved in a project such as this, always double down on your own research. I am not a lawyer. Check with your own lawyers and make sure that everything is shape. Nonetheless, this does offer some positive regulatory clarification that the crypto space so desperately needs. So let me know below in the comment, is this a positive development, or is this kind of an intrusion on the part of government? And let me know your opinion. After all, I'm trying to get a barometer as to what the crypto space is seeing about this news. So now the big question on everyone's mind. We just saw digital ledger technology being implemented by central banks and talked about the world over, but how is this rubber gonna meet the road? And from the looks of things, it's going to be happening via centralized existing institutions as the world shifts over, slowly but surely, towards a more bright decentralized future. After all, we all have our part in this world, and running headlong after ideals without looking at the road directly in front of you could potentially lead you to running off a bridge. So while these banks aren't necessarily the most beloved institutions worldwide, I'm definitely going to give credit where credit is due and say that JP Morgan and friends are doing a great job facilitating the application of this new technology. In fact, JP Morgan's blockchain payment network has expanded to over 75 international banks, which is pretty impressive for the amount of time that they've been working on this, just a few years. You can see here JP Morgan's Interbank Information Network, or IIN, which is in collaboration with ANZ and the Royal Bank of Canada, now has 75 banks in their network, making it one of the largest consortiums of banks involved in the utilization of distributed ledger technology. That's a direct quote from the article there, fantastically written piece. You can see here $14,500 dollar-based payments, so this can include any number of dollars within one payment, so it's really indeterminate how much money is being handled using this new transaction medium, but nonetheless, it definitely seems to be something that these banks are very interested in. After all, cuts down on the amount of trust and makes sure that the pain points that customers experience are minimized extremely. And something that's happening that I absolutely love, something that I don't think we've seen since well before the 2008 financial crisis, banks are competing. Well, full stop, fantastic news there, to gain attention. Also fantastic news. Although no comprehensive data is out there to show exactly what startups are using blockchain and offering services for what cost, some individual businesses have had a lot of success. Article names TransferWire, a UK-based payment service that processes about £3 billion every month. And after all, if the hot new thing on the market is some technology that makes finances more transparent, more immutable, and also less prone to fraud, well, that's a fantastic thing to be competing for. And it's not just banks that are getting involved. Other industry giants, such as IBM, have confirmed partnerships with institutions such as Marsh and Salesforce to expand the application of blockchain technology, specifically in the field of insurance. Marsh is a global insurance broker and risk management firm that confirmed their partnership with IBM on Wednesday. Marsh and IBM began working together way back in April, just a few months ago, and confirmed today in the announcement that the proof of insurance blockchain solution will be accessible via the Salesforce platform. For those who are unaware, Salesforce is a fantastic service that allows industries and clients to connect more seamlessly, so they fill an excellent market niche there, and ensuring that the data that they gather from customers and businesses alike are both mutable and protected is a fantastic boon for an industry that realistically is a relatively large vector of attack if one were to be interested in finding user data. Like I said, good news all around for governments and industry, as well as regulators. Let me know what you think of this below in the comments, though. Could this potentially be big government and business coming in to curtail the decentralized future that we're all looking towards? Or could this be just another step along the road towards that decentralized future as existing governments and institutions attempt to grapple with the emerging technology that, realistically, they have no de facto control over? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, we have a couple conferences happening on September 28th, Friday. The Teamz Blockchain Summit is kicking off in Tokyo. The Futuristic Financial Intelligence Summit 2018 is kicking off in India. And the Neo Hackathon is happening in Georgia, the Caucasus Nation, not the state. Moving on to Saturday, September 29th, we have the Blockchain Day Netherlands kicking off in Amsterdam. That's it for Saturday, and I couldn't find anything for Sunday. Seems that Sunday is a sleepy day all around generally in the crypto space. After all, everybody needs a day off to relax, recoup, and rest. We're all only human. So with that said, everybody enjoy your weekend, relax, stay safe, stay happy, and be excellent to those around you. Thanks so much for watching. You guys are fantastic. Check the description below. I put all the sources down there. It's a great way to get started doing your own research. You can check behind me, make sure everything looks good. After all, I'm just a dude behind a computer, and this channel would be nothing without you guys, so thanks again. My name is Paul, signing off. We are Cryptide, and remember, the tide is rising. From an institutional perspective, too. Whew.